Being a landowner of sorts gives you some form of comfort and the starting point at least. I'm Andrew Surya, married to one wife, got 3 kids. Never saw myself owning a house. This came as a beautiful surprise.
Well, my parents didn't raise me to live with them forever. So just learning from watching them and other people around me, I'd always hoped that one day I would own my own home.
Partnership that we entered into is to enable positive futures for the population of Zimbabwe, to ensure that we contribute to the housing stock of the country and also reduce the national housing list. People who had never dreamt of owning a house, people who are in the informal sector, we enabled them to put a roof over their heads.
So it feels great to be a homeowner, particularly living in Zimbabwe where things are really difficult. It's great to know that I don't have to worry about the roof over my head. I was excited about when I actually signed the papers and they said, this is your home. Now I'm already thinking, what's next? I would definitely do it again if another opportunity came that worked. So I'd definitely encourage other people to take something like this on.
To News Blitz on ZTN. These are the stories making the headlines. Schools open for non-examination classes. 88-year-old Mutoko granny kills husband over laziness. African leaders in Tanzania for Magufuli Memorial. And in sport, cool time be running out for Kadewere and Munetsi. Schools in Zimbabwe reopened today for non-examination classes. This follows last Monday's opening of examination classes. Our news crew went around schools in the capital, Harare, and observed that most schools were implementing a number of measures to contain the spread of COVID-19 amongst learners and teachers. Last week, government spelled out standard operating procedures for schools, which amongst them include decongesting their premises. Our correspondent Patience Namburo was at Borodo Government Primary School earlier today.
Well, good afternoon, Blessing. I can tell you that some of the schools have started implementing the standard operating procedures announced by government. This is to promote physical distancing in line with the COVID-19 World Health Organization guidelines. Part of the standard operating procedures announced by government say that schools should not exceed 35 students in a class. This will see some students attending school 2 days in a week and then spend 3 days learning from home and then rotate the following week. Right here at Borodo Primary, they have started hot sitting classes for infants.
She also spoke to Borodo Primary School head Charles Chiseko Chevana.
Time has started very well, definitely. And the goodness is a result of the preparations that we did in terms of cleaning, provision of sanitizers and wash hand basins and buckets. Otherwise, we are following the standards operating procedures set down by the ministry, and all has been very well. We've had a smooth start, and our children are actually getting into the habit. They now understand the notion behind social distancing and sanitization. You noted as you went around, our children have got their own small sanitizer bottles for frequently sanitizing their hands. And as a school also, we've got running water in the school, and we've been encouraging our children to do that. Then in terms of social distancing in the classrooms, each class is now using 2 classrooms so that we maintain the social distance of 1 meter between students. We only have the ECD and Bs. These are the ones that we have actually had to put on staggered learning programs. ECDA will come on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday for this week. Then ECDB will come Thursday and Friday. Then those at home, They will be doing online learning through WhatsApp and the use of iMac application for the marking. Then come next week, ECDB will come Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. The ECDA will do Thursday and Friday, following the same program.
Some private schools have gone a step further in implementing the recommended guidelines to ensure the safety of both teachers and pupils. Our news crew visited Harvard Junior School and spoke to the school head, Lois Magweba.
Let me put it this way. When COVID visited us, it was last year, we have been given a guideline through the Ministry of Education in collaboration with the Ministry of Health. As a school, we produced some masks and then we communicated through our parents that each and every child has to have a mask, and the mask should be branded the child's name. So that they are still young, they may change the mask, give Peter, give John, and so forth. But if the mask has a name, the child would be able to identify that this is my mask. And also, we, according to the guideline that I was talking about from our Ministry of Education and also the Ministry of Health, we also have an isolation room and a contact number for the doctors that we can contact if we are suspecting anything in terms of the COVID. So once we identify that the child may have some symptoms, we isolate immediately the child to go to the isolation room, and then we start from there.
The opening of schools sees the return of face-to-face learning for the first time in almost a year. Most learners were having lessons online while others were learning via radio and television. ZTN spoke to educational psychologist Kwadzanai Nyanungo, who is also the Chief Director of the Department for Learner Welfare, Psychological Services and Special Needs Education in the Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education. She outlines the advantages of face-to-face learning compared to online lessons.
Learners enjoy the social interactions with peers and their teachers in the natural environment where they can interface in person, because the school experience goes beyond the formal curriculum. So as learning is a social event, there are obvious advantages to personal interactions in real time. Homeschooling has advantages for some learners for certain things, and for some learners is the only option available and has been for a while. So in the long and short of it is it depends on the child and the circumstances.
With most pupils returning to school today, parents and their children in Harare found the going tough in the morning as transport to ferry learners was scarce. Currently, only transport operators registered under the ZUPCO franchise are permitted to operate. We spoke to some parents who shared their experiences.
zvakatotiomera mufunge dai hurumende yationerawo zvekuita, because zvinezvi vana isombotakurwa nemakombi kuenda kwamachipisa, asi ko zvinezvi makombi achona haasi kubvumidzwa kufamba, saka dai vationerawo mazupko.
Tamuka kumafoni kana tisatakura transport tikati tanetseka transport yevana vechikoro izvotayapana kumapasiti 5 nanhasi vana havasati vakwira, hakuna makombi ari kuti hachatakura kuti hatisi kubvumidzwa, mabhazi acho ekuti vatakure vana hakuna. Ndodzidza pamupepa tamuka kumafoni takangomira pano hatina makombi.
Still with schools, it wasn't the sort of first day at school that learners and teachers at Budiriro Primary School in Gweru's Mkoba suburb anticipated. A burst sewer pipe denied them access into the school premises this morning after it created an impassable sewage pool near the school entrance. After camping outside the school premises for close to an hour, pupils and teachers had to use the school truck to cross the pool. Gweru City Council spokesperson Vimbai Chingwaramusi said the burst pipe had been attended to, but however denied reports that pupils had failed to gain access to the school in time due to the burst sewer.
I understand that people actually went to school and the base blockage that was there was actually attended to. So we don't know where this is coming from. You know how it is with people who create rumors, people who create fake news. But as a local authority, no, we're not aware of that. What we are aware of is that students and teachers actually reported for duty and for school.
I often wonder what I could have done differently. My life was muted, reduced to perpetual agony. I thought that is how it was supposed to be. My bones broken, my face scarred. I should have stood up. Speak up, stand up, my child. Fight hate and danger. Find refuge, shelter, and accept counsel. There is always a sanctuary and hope. No way.
Moving on with a bit of business, ZESA board chairperson Dr. Sydney Gutta has pleaded with Parliament that statutes surrounding ministerial directives must be revisited. He said such directives have in the past led to some independent power producers being irregularly awarded licenses.
When we consider the number of cases that led to white elephant projects, that led to failure to observe the provisions of the Procurement Act, the Public Finance Management Act, the Corporate Governance Act, and others that regulate our businesses as public enterprises, it is this issue of directives that needs really to be qualified to be understood. And to cut the long story short, it eventually translates into a directive to do a particular project which may not be on the business plan of the public enterprise. And sometimes even when it is, the directive might specify a manner of its execution that is not consistent with our statutes.
An 88-year-old woman from Tamuka village in Mutoko, a district in Zimbabwe's Mashonaland East province, allegedly killed her husband for refusing to help her with work. It is alleged that on Thursday last week around 5 p.m, an Chivinge aged 88 struck 99-year-old Saidi Dayton with bricks after he refused to help her carry cowpeas from their field. Dayton later succumbed to injuries sustained from the attack. Mashonaland East Police spokesperson Inspector Tendai Mwanza confirmed the incident to ZTN.
Police in Mutoko have arrested an 88-year-old woman who is alleged to have murdered her 99-year-old husband. It is believed the two had a misunderstanding, after which the woman got hold of some pieces of bricks which she used to strike the husband several times on his body. It is a sad event that should have been avoided had the two used some peaceful solutions to their troubles. However, we would like to urge members of the public to ensure that they always seek amicable ways to resolve any differences that may arise between them.
Introducing the COVID Funeral Plan from Doves. This policy covers death from COVID-19 or COVID-19 related funerals. The Doves COVID Funeral Plan is effective immediately with no waiting period. For more information, please contact 0731 772 784, 0731 772 782, WhatsApp 0731 750 989, email callcenter@doves.co.zw. Visit our website www.doves.co.zw or visit the Doves Holdings Facebook page. Doves, for the ones you love.
In the region, 10 African heads of state and government have arrived in Tanzania for the late President John Magufuli's memorial. These include the leaders of Kenya, Zambia, Morocco, Namibia, South Africa and Zimbabwe. President Magufuli's body has been moved to the capital Dodoma for the public to pay their last respects. He will be laid to rest on Friday. In South Africa, an announcement is expected this week on the succession of the late Amazulu King Goodwill Zwelithini. Amazulu traditional Prime Minister Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi said that a follow-up meeting will be held with senior members of the royal family on Wednesday in order to discuss the will of the king. Queen Mantfombi Madlamini Zulu has been named as interim successor. The late king succumbed to COVID-19 related complications early this month. About 18,000 Australians have been evacuated from flooding across New South Wales as heavy rains continue to batter the east coast. Days of torrential downpours have caused rivers and dams to overflow around Sydney, the state capital, and in southeast Queensland. Officials say the rare occurrence may continue all week and urge the public to exercise caution. Prime Minister Scott Morrison has offered funds for those forced to flee. Coming up next is the sport. Don't go away.
Did you know that you can now get Dove's funeral cover from the comfort of your home? Simply visit our social media platforms, Facebook page, Doves Holdings. Visit our website, www.doves.co.zw. Email callcenter@doves.co.zw. So get your Dove's funeral cover from anywhere you are, with no hustles and no need to travel. Only with Doves. Doves, for the ones you love.
In sports, we start with football. The Zimbabwe Football Association must confirm availability of a private jet for Tino Kadewere and Marshall Munetsi if they are to be available for the Botswana and Zambia AFCON qualifiers. On Saturday, the French government relaxed COVID-19 restrictions, allowing League 1 and 2 players to travel to non-EU countries without having to face isolation when they return. This on condition that players travel with a private jet when they return to their bases. Now, ZTN understands that consultations are ongoing and Kadewere and Munetsi will be seeking guarantees before they can fly out of France this evening. We will, of course, keep our tabs on that story and keep you updated. On to golf. The Zimbabwe professional golfer Ben Follett-Smith has had an impressive outing at the Gauteng Championship presented by Betway over the weekend. Follett-Smith, who finished 15th, carded 71, 66, 72 and 69 for a 10 total under to pocket 14,855 rands, and J.B. Kruger, who closed with a 66 and 21 under par, was the eventual winner at that Sunshine Tour tournament. Other Zimbabweans who did take part include Mark Williams, Mohamed Rauf Mandu, Shahid Mohammed and Greg Bentley. That story on golf bringing News Blitz to a close. Do connect with us on social media platforms. That's on Twitter at ZTN_news, Facebook, Zimpapers TV, Instagram, and also YouTube at ZTN. And remember to like and subscribe our YouTube channel. You can also visit our website, ztn.co.zw. Thanks for watching.
Being a landowner of sort gives you some form of comfort and with the starting point at least. I'm Andrew Sirel, married to one wife, got 3 kids. Never saw myself owning a house. This came as a beautiful surprise.
Well, my parents didn't raise me to live with them forever. So just learning from watching them and other people around me, I'd always hoped that one day I would own my own home.
Partnership that we entered into is to enable positive futures for the population of Zimbabwe, to ensure that we contribute to the housing stock of the country and also reduce the national housing list. People who had never dreamt of owning a house, people who are in the informal sector, we enabled them to put a roof over their heads.
So it feels great to be a homeowner, particularly living in Zimbabwe where things are really difficult. It's great to know that I don't have to worry about the roof over my head. I was excited about when I actually signed the papers and they said, this is your home. Now I'm already thinking, what's next? I would definitely do it again if another opportunity came that worked. Also, I'd definitely encourage other people to take something like this on.